Hello everyone, it's Phil here for Conservative News Canada, EDC Canada, NTPS Group. This broadcast podcast is going to be on gun control in Canada. I'm actually at wit's end here about this. It's just truly, absolutely freaking stupid what I've been hearing in the news. It actually spurred me to join two groups: the National Firearms Association and the Canadian Sports Shooting Association, because of what I saw in the news last week. It kind of annoyed me, but thinking about it, and I'll explain this in a bit. Talking to somebody, and I'm not going to mention who it is, and we're talking about it. It's like, what they said to me was kind of made so much sense on a level that cannot be reached normally. It's the RCP wants to have us citizens unarmed, so we can't do what's going on in the Ukraine or Venezuela or wherever else these major protests going on. They don't want us to be able to match them one-on-one equally. They want to be on top. They want to win. So they're going to be reclassifying non-restricted firearm rifles as prohibited because they look scary, because they could be converted to full automatic. I don't know anybody's experience levels out there are, but it's kind of hard to convert a semi-automatic firearm to a full automatic, unless you have lots of time, a good machine shop, or you're very handy with a file. So, yeah, it does make no sense. That's what they're saying. It can be easily converted to a full automatic. Also, as our gun control laws in Canada. So I should get to the background. How can the RCMP be allowed to do this? Well, as far as I know, and as far as my readings led me to say, people have told me, asked about this. They say, well, the RCMP there's a clause in the Firearms Act which allows the RCMP to, they're a designated authority on firearms in Canada. So basically, it gives them carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want with firearms. Excuse me. So let's take these Swiss Arms rifles. I have never fired one. Apparently there's 7.62 by 39 round. I fire that type of that rifle, basically AK-47 round, or it'd be a 308. More equivalent to a Western round would be a 308 caliber rifle round. So it's a good deer round, moose round, I would imagine. I'm not being a hunter, but good round. A lot of rifles use the 308s. 30-06 is not a good caliber, but that's not the point here of this podcast. So they're doing this because they think it could be converted to full auto. I see that as like, that's total horse shit. Not everybody has access to a machine shop, and besides, making a semi-automatic firearm into a full automatic is also already against the law. So you're basically penalizing people for owning a firearm. And here's the kicker: each of these rifles cost upwards of $3,500 to $4,000 a shot. That's a pricey little piece of hardware. And the kicker is, because of this reclassification, is the owners will not get compensated for their property being seized or having to be turned in, or as I call it, it's confiscation. The RCMP is based. This is what the thought is. The consensus is right now is the RCMP is doing a step by step confiscation. They're reclassifying these firearms as prohibited to get them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. We are actually, the firearms owners in Canada are probably the most law-abiding out there in the whole country. Because if we miss one paper filing, we may miss one piece of paperwork being filed on the right date, right then and there, your firearm owner is a criminal. It's basically a paper criminal. Because he didn't do his paperwork, or the paperwork wasn't processed on time by the RCMP, the Chief Firearms Officer of whatever province or region they happen to be in. I'm a target shooter, okay? For the longest time, I was not active in the shooting sports. So, I just recently got back into it. Yet, why did I leave in the first place? Well, why do you think? Bill C-68 and Bill C-17. Okay, made it next to impossible for me to shoot and compete. I did shoot when I was in the cadets competitively. So about 3-4 years shooting competitively in cadets. Was a rifle coach in cadets, so I basically taught younger shooters, newer shooters, how to fire the rifle and be accurate. I worked on their marksmanship. I could actually spot. I talk people into bullseyes all the time. I using Kentucky windage. So, okay, this last round hit here, so you're gonna want to aim opposite of that point where it hit. I'm gonna go the opposite direction. If you aim right center and it hit high left, you want to go aim low right to get your bolt. The rifle I have now is a Daisy 953 competition target model, with a nice 3-9 by 32 power scope. So I'm able to basically pick off, those little toy army you play with kids. I'm able to take the head off at about 50 yards with that rifle. It's a simple shot, yes, but it took me two attempts at it to get it. First one was just a little bit off to the left. Okay, no big deal. It happens. So I adjusted, reloaded, and went. So yeah, on laws. Barrel length, I think it's limited for pistol. Handguns, it's limited to 106 millimeters or longer, which is about a 4 1/4 inch barrel. Rifle, I think it's 18.5 inches, I believe, is the shortest barrel you're allowed to have. Both these, the Swiss Army rifle and the SIG 1522, which is a 22 caliber rifle. The SIG is a 22 caliber semi-automatic rifle based on the AR-15 platform. So it's a purpose-built 22 caliber rifle that looks like an AR-15. It's in the platform, same battery arms and ergonomics to the rifle. So, I mean, what does that tell you? Is that they're restricting rim fire. 22 caliber is rim fire, as most firearms owners know. Rifles who are not under the magazine capacity limit as centerfire firearms are. Which a pistol, I believe it's 10 rounds, rifles are 5 rounds. So 22 caliber, you can have for a 22 caliber rifle, you can have a 100 round beta mag for it, 100 round magazine for it, and still be completely legal in Canada. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's not the case." Well, that's a loophole. It actually is the case, and people don't understand that. This is all from my own research. I forget the sort. This I found months, maybe a couple of years ago. This information, so I'm not sure it's changed yet, but I don't believe it has. Also, gun control. The problem is not with a legal, law-abiding gun owner. It is the street element, the thug element, that is the problem. Guns on the street. Most crimes are not committed with long guns or rifles. or shotguns. Well, shotguns is a bit more possible to shotgun, sawed off. But generally speaking, long guns are not used in street level crime or crime in general. And people who say, "Oh, it's for some people domestic and all this." Like, well, yeah, sure, okay. I'm sure it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it does happen. But I'm not saying all law-abiding gun owners should have firearms. All people who have firearms now, licensed to own firearms, there's some that should not have them. But I'm saying, you know what? Benefit of the doubt. Simple as that. The old FAC system is when I remember growing up with was the FAC system, where I would have been able to own my own firearm when I was about 16. Should have been when I was about 16, I believe. I don't know the full. It's been so long. But yeah, a lot simpler system. Current system doesn't matter who you are. It's not going to stop the determined individual. Gun control is basically a freedom destroying item. Basically, Canada, we do have what's known as the British North America Act. In the British North America Act, which is based off Magna Carta, 16 something, I forget, 1691, I believe it is. They had Section 29 or something like that. But basically, Canada does have the right to keep and bear arms for personal protection and property defense. A lot of people in Canada say, "Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't." Well, we did. It was the British North America Act as well. And in the late 70s, early 80s, in 68, the Canadian Bill of Rights came into play. Guess what was missing? The 1980, the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms came into play. Guess what was missing again? Two very important rights: property rights and self-defense rights. So gun control, and which those two items basically are right now in what we're trying. The problem is we don't have these property rights, so we cannot say no. You cannot take this property. Well, they did this for a reason. This is what I think. They did it for a reason. This gun grab has been in the works since 1968. And John Diefenbaker, I think was the Prime Minister, I believe. I'm not too sure. It was Pearson or somebody. I forget who it is now exactly. But from that point, they basically were saying, we don't want Canadians to have guns. Okay? 1980, Trudeau, biggest fucking idiot in the history of Canada, basically gave us Charter Rights and Freedoms, the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms, neglecting two very important pieces to appease Quebec. So, what does that tell you? It tells you the Liberals are not for your rights. They say, "Oh, we want rights for everybody. Everybody needs these rights, but you can't have this, can't have that, do this, can't do this, can't do that." That's what Liberals do. Conservatives are no better. NDPs know better. The Green Party's know better. Who's any decent? Well, only one party, and I'm not advocating vote for them and splitting the vote to vote for them, because splitting the vote right now would be disastrous for this issue. Would be vote Libertarian. But my thought is, you know what? Splitting the vote, voting Libertarian, you're basically throwing your vote away. Because they're not a mainstream party. And that's the problem. We mainly elect mainstream parties. So what we need to do is elect the Libertarians. Vote for anybody but the Liberals, Conservatives, or NDP or Green. We want freedom to do what we want. We don't want to be in a dictatorship or a tyrannical government. Because if the Liberals get in, or the NDP gets in as the Prime Minister, NDP Prime Minister, whatever, Canada is fucked. We can't afford an NDP government or a Green government or a Liberal government right now. Because they want to spend taxes to death. Oh, you can't be trusted with this piece of equipment. So guess what? We're prohibiting you from owning that item. Well, I mean, cars kill more people than firearms in Canada. Okay? Why not ban the automobile? Oh, is this what liberals would say? Because there is a legitimate use for it. Well, there's for a firearm too. Putting food on the table. It's property defense. Self-defense. Those are all very good reasons to own a firearm. Target shooting. Being self-sufficient. The government, liberal governments, don't want you to be self-sufficient. Most governments do not want you to be self-sufficient. So they're going to try to limit what you can do. So you cannot be self-sufficient. This is what's going on in the States right now. You have a tyrant in charge in the president's office. Yes, the tyrant is Obama. I'm not a big fan of Obama. To me, he's a pompous ass who thinks he's better than everybody else. But that's Obama. And that's not saying he's black. If he was white, I'd say the same exact thing. He's a talker. He ain't a doer. He takes credit for other people's work. So yeah. What can we do right now as firearms owners? This is actually to all firearms owners out there that would listen to this. What can we do? What we could do is stand up and say, no. No, you are not doing this. We object to what you're doing. If you don't fix this problem, well, guess what? We're not going to vote for you next time. We're going to basically spoiler vote Libertarian. And there's 7 million firearms owners in Canada. That's the last number I heard. 7 million firearms in Canada's owners. One of the two. I believe 7 million owners in Canada. Out of a population of, 30-something million? Close to 35 million people in Canada? That's what? Let me just check here. I'm going to calculator up. Phone. So, say... Okay. The 5% of that will do much. We'll vote Libertarian. Guess what? So no, it's actually what, 5? About 20%, actually, sorry, not 5%. 20% of the Canadian population owns a firearm. If it's based on number, on 7 million. On an estimate of 35 million population. Okay, about 20% of Canadians own a firearm, or firearms owners. Probably a lot more. This current Firearms Act, I'm going to get back to this point. The current Firearms Act is such a joke that none of the restrictions make any sense. Okay? Some I kind of get, most I don't. Okay? One of the things I do get is the full automatic being prohibited. I get that fully. I can understand that fully. They're fun to shoot, mind you. Very fun to shoot, but there's no need for it. Only need for full automatic is to mow down a whole crowd of people. Only thing it's useful for. Okay. But it's fun to shoot. They're fun to shoot. If you have one on the range, it's fun as hell to shoot. Age-wise, yeah, okay. Being required to be a part of a sportsman's club or whatever, shooting club, to get your pal, or our pal, or whatever, that's to me stupid. What else is there? Sheesh. Magazine limits. They're stupid. You mean if I buy a rifle that's capable of holding 30 rounds, I'm limited to 5 rounds for a rifle? For target? Another thing that doesn't make any sense is the classification system in general. What's being classified as restricted, non-restricted, or prohibited. To me, a semi-automatic AK-47 variant that's non-full auto should not be prohibited. It's a great little rifle. It's a great target rifle. It can be a very good rifle, a very fun rifle to shoot. It's like that. Okay, MP5, semi-automatic MP5. Yeah, it's classified as a submachine gun, but there are semi-auto only versions of the MP5. Okay, what do I mean by semi-automatic? Some people who do not know firearms in general. A semi-automatic means for every pull of the trigger, one round leaves the barrel. One projectile leaves the barrel. Burst mode, it's anywhere from 2 or 3 to 5 rounds will leave the barrel. Full automatic, as long as you hold that trigger down, it will be firing projectiles, the rounds. So, what does that say? It says semi-automatics are okay. I say all semi-automatics should be fully legal. If they're semi-automatic, doesn't matter if they can be converted to a full automatic. This by adding a trigger group. But a lot of manufacturers now, what they're doing to prevent people from putting a new trigger group in to make it a full automatic or select fire firearm, is they're making this semi-auto only versions trigger group. There's a little slot or whatever that you can't fit the other firing groups into it. You can fit those into the other ones, but you can't fit it to the semi-automatic only version receiver. Okay, that's what I kind of found with some of them. What I'm hearing. But can't guarantee that's 100% accurate. But overall, there you go. Another thing about it, some of the rifle pistol barrel lengths, 4.25 inch barrels. Come on, guys, like, please. Some of the best target training pistols, I would say, are the shorter barrels. It teaches you more about muzzle control. It teaches you more about accuracy. Fundamentals. So do the math. Okay, so thank you everybody for listening today. I know it's a pretty crazy topic, but I went all over the place today, but hope you were able to follow. And thank you for listening. Have a good day. Bye.